Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
Kyle Whittingham and the Utes are back at home for a showdown against Arizona State. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Jeremiah, Jensen. Thanks for being with us on the program, everybody. It's wild. We're already into week 7 of the college football season, and just so much going on. This thing goes quick.
It's essentially the halfway point, right?
And on top of it, I mean, storylines shock us every year. But I feel like this year, maybe it's just because it's right in front of our face, but the storylines are extra shocking, I guess, is the way to put it on these things. And so I'm really excited to talk with our buddy Bill Bender, who's from Sporting News, who joins us periodically to talk about all these things. And so let's jump in right here, top of the hour. It is The Cut.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. TRAJAN Wealth.com. It's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Bill Bender joins us, Sporting News, where you can find his byline. And I'm just perusing this week's version of the projected college football playoffs that you guys do every week, Bill. And, well, it must just be absolute chaos when you start to go through these lists and go, well, I guess I don't have to consider those guys anymore. Every week has gotten wild. Has it been extra wild this year, or is it just us?
Yeah, just don't look at my preseason one, okay? you can look at this one, but there's some teams that lost last Saturday that would have maybe made that preseason one. But, yeah, it is. You know what, though? It's fun to do that every week because once that chaos settles, you kind of think to yourself, okay, you know, who's kind of still alive?
Right.
And, you know, and especially in the SEC where you have those 9 ranked teams, I'm wondering how much more like of this demolition derby we're going to see over the next 7 weeks.
No doubt it's probably just beginning across the country as we get into conference play. There's no doubt about that. What do you make of what happened to Penn State the last 2 weeks?
Well, I was at the Oregon game, and I had a very different column written late. You know, I really thought they were going to win that game in double overtime. Mm-hmm. And with the comeback from down 17-3 and then bang, bang, they throw the interception and game over. That was to cover. There's no doubt. And then obviously the game last week. I don't have a good explanation. I mean, you can do travel, you can do emotional hangover, you can do the UCLA coaching changes, this Big Ten travel thing. I don't care. You can't lose that game. Like, I live in Central Ohio, as you guys know. I don't know what they would do here in Columbus if Ohio State loses a game like that. I can't even, fathom the reaction.
As you kind of look and see some of the – I mean, and James Franklin at this point, everybody's kind of going, yeah, this guy's done. You know, his career, and I'm thinking, well, this guy's done a lot at this university. He's won a lot of games. Obviously, people love to bring up his record against the AP Top 10, and that's not good, obviously, but – it's one thing to lose against the AP Top 10. It's another to be the AP Top 10 and to lose to an absolutely, totally defeated team. And that UCLA team has looked like one of the worst that we've seen in a while. But then there are teams like Texas that are not losing all their games, but they're losing the games that matter the most. And Arch Manning, most difficult to explain to Texas fans, is not looking good at all.
No, and so back to your first thing. James Franklin's done a lot more good than harm at Penn State.
Right.
There's no question.
So people are asking for him to get fired, and you're going, hold your horse this year. Careful what you wish for.
Right, and it reminds me a little bit. I've made this comparison a few times this week. Lloyd Carr at Michigan.
Yeah.
Ran him out after the App State loss, and then the next 2 hires didn't work out, and you have a $50 million buyout. Now, and I think they'll win more games than Texas will this year. Mm. And some of that is Texas's remaining schedule. They still got to play Georgia. They got to play A&M. They got to play Oklahoma. We don't know if Mateer's going to play, but Arch is hard to explain too because I'm rooting for him. I want him to do well. But the accuracy is not there right now. And somebody asked me earlier this week if they should bench Arch Manning, and I scoffed at it at first, but part of me thinking, well, would that be something that would be good for him down the line? I don't know.
It's interesting. Speaking of the Southeastern Conference, the SEC, I'm looking at the standings, and it's very fascinating to see who's the top, who's not. If you had to choose right now, who do you think the best team in the SEC is today?
Alabama, which is wild.
Yeah.
The team that I think last time I was on with you guys, we were talking about Kalen DeBoer's job security, and now I'm saying
he's ruining the program.
It's over, and the Saban era, and now you look at their schedule; they're going to be favored the rest of their games. Mm-hmm. I thought it took guts to go to Georgia and win and break that 33-game winning streak. Jam Miller adds to their offense. Ty Simpson's pretty darn good.
Yep.
Like, that's something I underestimated. He's very good. And here they are this week going to Missouri. Missouri's a big game. And I think the last 2 to 3 weeks have just served to remind me, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, that Alabama still wears the big target in the SEC.
Yeah, no doubt.
When you look at how this thing has been shaken out and some of your predictions for the college football playoff, like I'm looking, and it's easy to go, hey, look, the good news is some of the teams over the past few weeks that have been good and teams that we're recognizing as good, like you've said, Ohio State, Alabama, we recognize as good. Oregon, we know that they'll be pretty darn good. Those are 3 of your 4. Miami, how big of a shock is it that Carson Beck has performed to the level that he has at Miami? We've had to apologize to him basically every week.
Well, he's under control. Some of it's that offensive line's pretty dominant around Maligoa. Defensive line's amazing around Reuben Bain. He might be the best defensive player in the country. Two receivers, Daniels and Corley. He's definitely established a connection with. He's not turning the football over. He's a veteran, and I just continue to be impressed with them, the way that they've stacked up all these good wins. And now, back half of the schedule, they're not going to see another ranked team. They've done all the heavy lifting. Now the challenge is not to fall into that thing that we always do when we say the U is back, and then all of a sudden they lose one they shouldn't lose. So I do think they're in pretty good shape to make the ACC championship game, and Carson Beck's been very good.
Looking at the Big 12, it's exactly what we expected it to be, chaos. And a lot of teams have already taken an L in conference play. Texas Tech obviously looks like they've risen to the top, but they also haven't been challenged with the schedule. As you're looking at the Big 12 right now, what are your thoughts on what you've seen so far, and who do you think is the best team?
I think Texas Tech's defense is really impressive. The front 7, Rodriguez is really good. We're doing our midseason All-Americans next week, and he's a guy, and Bailey's another guy that I've had my eye on. Baron Morton has been under control. He goes out. Their other quarterback played well against Utah, and I think they're the one. I would say I think they're half of the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
The other half's the part I can't figure out. I mean, will it be a Utah rematch? Will it be BYU who taking care of business on their end and a short spread this week against Arizona? Cincinnati opened my eyes last week close to home. I weirded out by that line that they were favored, and then about 5 minutes in, Thorsby's really good. Why didn't I take the Bearcats?
Yeah, JJ picked him, and then I looked dumb because I was like, no, there's no way Cincinnati's not going to be any good this year. Like, we keep getting fooled, but we do this every year in the Big 12, it seems like. Is this something that we're seeing more? I was reading an article today that was talking about how, the SEC just doesn't have a what did they put? A bully anymore in this conference. They've got a lot of good teams, but no one is like that Alabama team that Nick Saban had put together. And when you don't have, a top dog like a Georgia or an Alabama year to year, and you're guessing on who the best teams are, then it's difficult. And I thought, well, welcome to the Big 12 and welcome to a lot of these other conferences. And on the one hand, you go, well, isn't that a good problem to have when you have, competitive conferences? And the answer is, for a lot of these conferences, no. You want to have a couple of teams that are very, very set as being your college football playoff teams. And the Big 12 is one of those conferences that just the only thing you could do right now is go, Yeah, probably Texas Tech. And there's never any projection that has anybody more than that in the Big 12.
That's the catch-22 of college football. You just said it best, because we should want Big 12 in every conference. We should want parity and fun games and fourth-quarter lead changes, and every time I turn a Big 12 game on, there's excitement. You know, even like TCU Colorado, we came down to the wire a little bit there for a minute last week, and I mentioned Iowa State, the upheaval there. But the best path to the playoff and the national title game is to have those two or three schools that separate themselves. As you know, I'm in Big Ten country, and Ohio State's pretty separate from everybody else with that defense. Oregon is real close. And then, you know, even Indiana with what they're doing to get those locks in the playoffs. So that's what I don't understand. That's one thing that frustrates me about college football, if I'm honest. I'm a big NFL guy, too. I love watching Sunday. But the beauty of the NFL and why it sells more than anything else is we literally change our mind about who's going to win the Super Bowl every second.
How about those Jacksonville Jaguars going all the way to the AFC Championship game? Yeah, of course.
One of the most interesting matchups of the weekend in college football that won't be watched on the East Coast is Arizona State at Utah, 10:15 p.m. Eastern start. But I know you're on it. It's in your picks this week. You took a deep dive on that. What are your thoughts on that game, Arizona State coming into play, the Utes after dark?
Well, fun game, and I'll be up watching it. And so I'm going to make a confession. When you live Ohio, we're Eastern time zone, so get to like 2:30 in some of these Pac-12 and Pac-12 Big 12 games and some of the Big 10 games. I do beg them to run the ball a little bit because I'm like, can we go? I want to go to bed, so can we just run the ball a little bit? No, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Arizona State is a team I didn't mention in those contenders because Sam Leavitt really has put that team on his back a little bit, and especially in that TCU game when they fell behind 17-0. Kind of a mulligan for Utah in some ways. I know maybe not the whole nation will be watching, but okay, you lose the Texas Tech game. Can you turn around and knock off Arizona State? Because then we'll be pushing them right back into the top 25. So a big game for Dampierre. Looking forward to the atmosphere there. I love games like that. And, yeah, I'll definitely be up watching. It's always good to have that. I'm a big fan of the late 10-15 game, the last ranked team, because then I can just zero in on that game. It's going to be awesome.
I was looking at your list here, and I thought, oh, he's got to put a group of 5 team in there. Memphis this week. Why can't it be a handful of other teams too? I mean, my heavens, it seems like the American right now has a handful of undefeated teams, and Memphis is the one right now that's in the top 25. But that could also get chaotic, and it could ruin some other things for bigger conferences.
You know, Memphis. And that American race is going to be fun here. Now you got 2 ranked teams in South Florida. They play in a couple weeks. South Florida Friday night plays North Texas, who
also undefeated.
Is undefeated. So there's a lot of fun wrinkles to that race. And then out west, I think UNLV is such an interesting story to me because it's multi-layered. It's Dan Mullen could take them to the playoff, and then Dan Mullen could go coach somewhere in the SEC or one of these many of 4 or 5 openings that we have in the Power 4 right now. So they're going to be a fascinating story. And it didn't hit me till you guys introed me in there that I'm like, yeah, we're halfway there. And I'm bracing myself for if we thought the first 7 weeks of this were crazy.
Yeah.
I assure you November will be much more crazy than any of this stuff.
Love it. Bill Bender, you can read his byline. Sportingnews.com is where you can find it. And, Bill, as usual, we appreciate it, man. We'll chat with you again here in the future. And good luck with the rest of those college football playoff predictions the rest of the year.
Hey, I will, guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill Bender. Man, it's chaos to try to make these predictions. It's kind of nice every week because you go, oh, thank heavens I can just pick other people right now and move on and pretend like the 2 weeks prior didn't happen.
Well, it's all thanks to NIL and the transfer portal. We just don't know. We don't know anything.
Right.
I don't like head coaches don't even know who their teams are half the time, right?
Yep. 1,000%.
They're learning along with the rest of us, and it's made for a more unpredictable product, which this is reality TV. We watch college sports because it's reality TV, and the drama has been cranked up a notch because of all this. It's theater. There's no doubt about it.
We got more to go. Stay with us. NFL Blitz is next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
That music means. First of all, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. The NFL Blitz. I hate to be leading off the NFL Blitz with this, but the Chiefs lost last night. JJ, gosh.
Good.
Where's old Rusty Keys now?
Did Rusty call in sick to work today?
Oh, he's the guy that'll face it. And you know
I
what?
didn't see him in the hallways.
I saw him. He's
Did
the
ya?
kind of guy too, and Rusty's the kind of guy too. He's the consummate fan, and he's a consummate Chiefs fan, which is, well, you know why we lost last night, right? Because of not a big deal here, not a big deal there. Seeing the AFC Championship game.
Because Chris Jones decided to walk to try to make a tackle at the end of the game.
You watched the same thing that I did, and I was like, go watch the last play when Trevor Lawrence looks like a baby bird falling out of the nest. Is the best way I could put it, right? Like, he trips, and then he trips again.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
And then they were like, what happened on that
That was
play?
his edition of the fumble-roo.
I love it. I love when they're like, walk us through that play. What'd you see? He's like, the ground? He said, I think, he goes, yeah, it was pure chaos. It was actually terrifying. Pure, terrifying chaos. I hated every second of it. I don't know how I got in the end zone. I'll tell you how I got in the end zone. Chris Jones, highest paid defender of that Chiefs defense, decided, you know what, I'm going to loaf it on this one. This is a good time to I'm going to take this play off. Good time to take it off.
The most important play of the game. I'm going to take it off.
So, and again, I have young boys, and so we're watching this game as they're going to bed last night, as we tend to do. We do a lot of this in these types of days, where we're watching the end of the game while they're in bed. So we got the phone up, and we're streaming, or we got the tablet up, we're streaming the game, and we're watching it while they're getting ready while they're, basically the lights are out. That's the last thing they're going to see. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, of course they're going to go full Jags. No, he's back up. Oh, he's running in the end zone. Holy cow, touchdown. And then the boys were like, oh my. And I don't know if, I haven't trained them like this necessarily, but they were like, good. And I'm a little bit proud of them, like they were like, good. And my son was like, I would want to hit Travis Kelce so hard on that field. I was like, I'm proud dad. And he goes, and then when the Jags won, they were even like, boy, that was stupid. I'm like, that was wild. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe he got in. It wasn't like, wow, can you believe that catch? It was, how did he fall twice and get in the end zone? No one knows. Except
how did he have time to do all that and not one Chiefs defender be on him?
Like, they're like, wow, the offense was just absolutely.
Like
the offensive line was absolutely lights out. I was like, no, they weren't. They were guessing too.
Yeah.
They're all, did our guy fall over?
Nobody knew where Trevor Lawrence was.
No, because I think he had either stepped on. I don't think he was stepped on. I think he stepped on a guard's foot. Immediately when they start to go in that pass pro and that foot comes back and their quarterback hasn't cleared right behind him yet, that's a tough spot to be in. It happens. So anyway, it's crazy. Hey, Jackson Dart, by the way, says that he's going to be fine for that Thursday night game this week against the Eagles. By the way, that's a huge one. Are they in the Meadowlands? What do we call it now? They are?
MetLife Stadium?
MetLife. Yeah. Are they? So they're at home. This is a guy who's been running the ball a lot, by the way, JJ. Aren't you worried about this guy's
his
health?
game. That's how
I know, but aren't you worried about
It's like, we going to tell Lamar Jackson to just stand in the pocket like Joe
but,
Flacco?
But
You're not going to do that.
And when he first got in, everyone's like, yeah, we could probably calm down a little bit with the running, huh? But
No, this is what he's going to do.
But he's been tucking it a lot.
The biggest gain they had in the entire game was Jackson dart up the middle.
Yeah.
That's part of his game. That's why he's effective. So, no, you have to live with it. Just like you have to live with it with other guys that are dual threat in the NFL. Lamar Jackson and others. It's just part of their game.
How long do you give Jonathan Gannon as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals?
He'll be fired at the end of the season.
Oh, they won't? You think it won't be before then?
They would have fired him after this game.
The blow up?
They just fined him $100,000.
They did for
Yes.
the exchange?
For the exchange. He physically touched DeMercado twice. In an aggressive manner.
When I was in high school, this is terrible. My coaches, I mean, they were just mean, right? And the grabbing of the face mask. Remember the grabbing the face mask?
Oh, I grew up in that era.
Standard.
I grew up in that era.
Standard.
Trust me, I got dressed down many times.
I remember a kid on our team, Doug Mayhews. Poor Doug.
No. Pray for Doug.
Well, Doug was not the smartest guy by the fact that we called him DUG Doug.
Oh, my gosh.
But he was like one of our best defensive linemen. And that's where you put guys like DUG Doug, right?
Yeah.
And he was an animal. But, you know, Doug, when he would jump off sides for the third time in a row, I remember my coach putting a clipboard across Doug's face mask and breaking it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Didn't get fined $100,000, by the way. Imagine if a coach did that on the sidelines now, they would be banned for life from the sport.
No doubt. No, you can't. Can you imagine a coach going
the NFL.
Woody Hayes on a player?
Oh, no.
At any level right now?
In the NFL, it would happen. Now, in the NFL, you might have your players tear them to shreds, right? But, man, my coach took the clipboard across poor Doug's, and you know what he did? Sorry, coach. You know why? He's a team player.
It was Doug.
He was
just Doug.
D-U-G Doug. It was terrible. We wrote it on his helmet for 2 days. Like, it was Doug.
Oh, my gosh.
Not like a hazing thing. He's like, I'm Doug. And we're like, let's get in there, Doug. Come on. Anyway.
Great story.
It's a terrible story is what it is. My coaches, they're bad people, I guess.
Character builders.
Right.
They're character builders.
Right. And that was when we moved to Washington. When we were in Texas, they were throwing their used chewing tobacco wad at us through the helmet. What are you doing? Bam.
Oh, man.
And we're like,
how much chew spit was on the ground after practice when you guys were done?
Oh, my gosh. What was funny was at the end of the year,
everybody in Texas dips.
At the end of the year, you would see the old wads that they would throw on the ground. And by the end of the year, you were like, oh, my gosh, we have all these black specks all over the ground, and I'm putting my hand in them. This was Coach Smith's chew. I was in 8th grade when that was happening. Oh, yeah. Great job. Great example, guys. Find those guys $100,000. Some of them, by the way, still working at the same school district.
Of course.
I mean,
where else are they going to work?
That was 30 years ago, JJ.
What else are they going to do?
Well, and I think about it now, and I'm like, those guys were old back then, and they're like, oh, no, they were like 27. These guys were old, man.
Isn't it funny how much older people looked 50 years ago than
I know. Coach Smith. Come on, man.
When you think of somebody, when we were growing up, you thought if somebody was 50 years old, you thought of Wilford Brimley.
What?
You know what? All 50-year-olds look like Wilford Brimley. Now I'm almost 50, and I look in the mirror, and I don't look like Wilford Brimley.
But not only that, if you were 27, you were 50.
Right, exactly.
Like in my mind, you're like, yeah, you're 50. I think Coach Smith is 50. I hope
that
Coach
hard
Smith,
Texas living.
Coach Smith, I hope you've changed the bike shorts to maybe something a little bit more appropriate. Maybe a jogger, maybe something like a,
He only wears polyester.
That's what I'm saying. Those old bike shorts.
Yeah.
Not biker shorts.
The coach's
The bike
shorts.
brand
Yes.
polyester short.
Yes.
The big buttons. Beep.
Oh, man.
And
All
then
the
they're
coaches
all-
had them.
And you can see the chew in the back pocket. That's terrible. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. When we do come back, we have one more time to chat with Ryan from the Dish Pros. Also, I've got a best and worst for you. So stay here at 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. Best and worst brought to you by the good folks at the Doug Smith dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. Oh, man, the Panthers survive. There you go. Get the dub on night number one. JJ, best and worst. The best is this is ridiculous. You can't make this stuff up. Although I wish that you could. I wish you could make this stuff up. I wish you could actually just push it forward. Apparently, the documentary that was centered around North Carolina football and Bill Belichick this year has been nixed. What?
Gee, I wonder why.
I thought for the sake of truth,
Yeah.
the documentary makers, what was the guy who was always making those? Victor E. Rat, by the way, on the ice tonight. What was the name? The guy who did like Bowling for Columbine and all that stuff.
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore.
Yeah.
Let's get Michael Moore would not axe a documentary about Bill Belichick and North Carolina football. It would turn into something more sinister.
Right.
But that's probably actually what it deserves, is the weirdness of what it is. So that's crazy. Also, if you're wondering about the Red River Reverie and how that's going to go down this weekend, if John Mateer is going to be able to materialize, see what I did there?
Nice.
He could come back from his injury. He's showing progress following his hand surgery. Do not rush this kid back just for a game against Texas.
That you're probably going to win anyway.
I know. It's like a bad Texas team, dude. Come back for a team that matters. See, that's kind of rivalry talk that you'd get back.
That's good.
Get down there.
That's real good.
No. Get back. Get healthy for a team that matters, like Mississippi State. See, that's the kind of stuff you got to do. Or no, worse. You say Texas A&M. Hey, let's get you right for a good team like Texas A&M.
That's a good one.
I mean, heaven forbid if you get to the college football playoff, you got to play Texas Tech. I'm not worried about the third best team in Texas right now.
No, that's not a concern.
Or fourth if you want to count North Texas.
Oh, they are undefeated. The Mean Green are undefeated.
Oh, where's UTEP this year? How are they doing?
Not as bad as Texas.
Texas State could compete.
Hey, at least Texas beat UTEP.
Texas Tech.
They got that.
Or Texas State would probably compete. Sam Houston, no. We already saw that. Texas State would compete against Texas right now.
For sure.
A grumpy arch. So come on. And then the worst is LeBron finally made his decision. Decision number 2 ends up being a massive number 2.
Massive?
It was for me.
Jeez.
It was for me.
That's quite a description.
Well, that's what they called it. Decision number 2.
I don't even want to mention what he was advertising because I don't want to give him any more.
It's booze.
I don't want to give him any more attention.
It's booze.
It was. I just. No one's gonna believe LeBron James anymore. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
No.
Lost some credibility. With
we
that
knew
one.
something. Like, honestly, our producer Alex Napolis said it best. It would have been better if the Taco Tuesday Taco Bell announcement would have been made. That would have made more sense than what he did today. So, yeah, LeBron is going to be back for a year.
Of course, he's gonna be back for a year.
What is this? 29? Yeah, I was going to say he's in high spirits, so to speak.
Sure is.
So there you go.
He's printing money.
We'll take the break here. We've got more to go around the corner, so stay here, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.